Good morning, I'm Gerhard Mathangani with today's Sports Brief. We're just a couple of days away from the start of the college baseball season. The Auburn Tigers are looking to make a splash after a very long time off. The Tigers were 13-5 when the pandemic shut down the season last March. Every year, Auburn has a couple of guys that end up turning heads, and head coach Butch Thompson believes this year will be no different.
I still think there's some players in our program that people don't know yet, and that's probably going to be the case and happen in other programs around. But when you say you got to go out and play a few games to start figuring your team out and what others look like, I mean it more than ever, because in some regards, there's been a long break in between evaluating teams and players. And, we've been in this deal for 11 months. Who's invested the most. And sometimes in a practice setting, you can't always tell. But these lights will start turning on, and I'm telling you, you're going to see some players that were All-Americans that are not going to look like it. And you're going to see some players you've never heard of that are going to look like All-Americans. And I think that's going to be because of this unique time that we've just experienced. And it's kind of something kind of intriguing, that's right around the corner to start figuring out.
Here's a look at teams around the state and where they will begin their seasons. Auburn's opener is at home against Presbyterian. Alabama hosts McNeese State. JSU is on the road at Baylor. UAB will welcome Valparaiso. Troy hosts Youngstown State, and Sanford is at home against UT Martin. Meanwhile, the start of the Jacksonville State football season will be a week later than scheduled. The Ohio Valley Conference officially postponed JSU's opener against Tennessee State due to winter weather issues this week. The league also postponed the Murray State Southeast Missouri game as well. Both games have been rescheduled for Sunday, March the 7th. Meanwhile, the Gamecocks are still preparing for what they hope is a deep run in the FCS playoffs. The coaching staff is also having to balance a spring season and then turn around and get their guys ready for the fall.
I think just getting them replenished and ready to play a season. Now, I think you got a lot of people that are, just gung-ho, excited about playing. And, as we are, we're ready to play too, ready to play somebody else. But as you get to the end of the spring season, you'll start thinking about getting these guys recovered and mentally and physically ready to play again in the fall, which is not an easy task. I mean, I think none of us have ever been here before. So there's no blueprint on how we've handled a pandemic. There's no blueprint on how we're handling a spring season. And so you just kind of, doing what you feel like is best at that time, for your team to move them forward and kind of deal with it as you go and adapt and overcome. That's about all you can do. But I feel like, our team has grown from this in a lot of different ways. And like I said, just looking forward to playing.
And that wraps up your Sports Brief. Our program continues next.